I was researching this gin smuggler named Henry Kaufman, and I just wanted to find out if he had done anything else interesting. And you know, this is the kind of thing that happens all the time when you're writing nonfiction and doing this kind of research. You know, one little thread, you start to tug on it and it sort of unravels and takes you down some other rabbit hole. And then that night, Scott came home from the bookstore, and as is our habit, we sit and have our little cocktails in the evening and talk about our day. This is how we dress. But you're not going to believe the story I found. This is just amazing. And he looked at it all and he said, you know, we have an Ancestry.com account at the bookstore, and we can look them up in the census and find maybe birth certificates and other documents and kind of start to put their family history together. Is anybody here in Ancestry.com? Yes? Okay. So y'all know how addictive this can get, right? I found them in the census and started to put their family tree together and started to find documents that told me more about their lives. And at that point, they really started to become real people to me, and I could put them in the context of a family and the world they lived in. So let me introduce you to them. Here's Constance Kopp. She's the oldest. She was 35 when this story began, about 6 feet tall, weighed about 180 pounds. She was unmarried, living at home, really wanted a job, some kind of career, but her mother discouraged her from getting any kind of education, and she really had no career prospects and not much of a future ahead of her when this incident happened. The youngest sister, Florette, was 16 when this begins. As you can see, she's very fashionable. She made all of her own clothes. I have newspaper clippings of her trying out for singing competitions in Patterson, so I know that she really wanted to be on the stage. Fortunately, I do know quite a bit about what kind of person Norma was, because I've been able to track down some family members and get some stories. So I found out that Norma was a very difficult woman. She was very judgmental, very opinionated, really hard on people. She held grudges. You know, she had a mind like a steel trap, and she remembered everything so that she could hold it against you someday. Really never had a kind word for anybody, said exactly what was on her mind and never apologized for it, and was just a difficult, difficult woman to be around. And I just loved that. I just thought, God, what a great character to write, you know? I mean, I feel like I know women like this. I may be a woman like, now that I think about it. I went and stood on the street corner where the girl waited with the gun. And this building, I think, might have been there at the time. And it looks old enough to me that maybe it was. And I found myself kind of sidling up to the building and putting my hands on the bricks and thinking, you know, Constance could have touched these bricks, right? No one has ever been so excited to go to Hackensack, New Jersey as I was. It was pretty amazing. I was in New Jersey just a few weeks ago, right near Hackensack and Patterson, where all of this happened. And I showed this picture, and a woman in the audience said, you know, my husband is named John Corder, and he's named after his grandfather or his great-grandfather. So I wonder if it's the same guy. And I said, well, I don't know, but let's, you know, get in touch with me and I'll tell you about my guy and you tell me about yours and we'll see if it's the same person. But I said, I have to apologize because in this book, he's really the villain. You know, he's corrupt, he's power hungry, he's cruel, he's lazy. He won't get off his butt and help these people. There's really just not a good thing about him. So I'm sorry if that turns out to be the case. And she said, you know, that sounds like my husband's family.